All right. Before I get into the nitty gritty, sorry for taking me about 13 to 15 minutes trying to find the right video. Um, First off, before I continue playing the rest of the video, why didn't they have that entire site secure? Similar to Charlie Kirk, why didn't they have that secure either? Um, my concern is, ever since the JFK assassination, we keep seeing more and more political violence as more and more advances and tactics in the Secret Service come about. The shooters who try to kill politicians become smarter and smarter by bringing more and more lethal bullets. But you would think, the Secret Service, and being a presidential candidate, you would think that they would have had this site secure. Now, I don't know if you guys can remember this, but the shooter, and I mentioned this in my first hour-long live, um, searched up the gruesome scene of the JFK assassination, the shooter who tried to assassinate Donald Trump. Um, and it's sickening the way this political violence has fucking turned. Um, I am ashamed at not just my country, but the country's security. You would think Secret Service would have better trained personnel, would have never oversighted the target because they saw the shooter, did absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'll send you guys back to the video.
United States.
Just complete, utter security failure.
And I got my camera around, and he wasn't there. I'm like, where's Trump? And then he did the fist pump.
We were right in the middle of all this.
I have to agree with that person just said about the security being an utter failure. It was not just an utter failure, but it had to have been deliberate or a mistake because again they saw the freaking shooter and did absolutely nothing about this. I'm going to send you guys back to the video and then I'll discuss more.
By late June, it was clear that Donald Trump was the Republican candidate for the presidential race. What was less clear was Joe Biden's standing. Most polls suggested that Donald Trump could beat the incumbent president.
2 weeks ago, he faced off in the first presidential debate against presumed Republican nominee Donald Trump. The president has been facing political pressure to leave the presidential race ever since because of his poor performance.
Why did Amazon send me these monthly royalties?
Yeah, Joe Biden's mental state was not the best. I can't say that. He should have never been president. That's just my opinion, throwing it out there. But either way, we knew Donald Trump was going to win because obviously Joe Biden's performance. Joe Biden should have, before he announced he was running, he should have endorsed Kamala Harris as the presidential candidate before he exited the race or even considered running for another term of office. Just for an FYI.
Let me explain. Because it was
Again, Donald Trump won all 7 swing states this election. Again, even if he didn't win the other 6, if he won Pennsylvania, which he did, he would have won the election no matter if he won the other 6 swing states or not. If Kamala Harris won Pennsylvania, she would have became president just like that. So just to throw that out there as well.
when it comes to the electoral map.
Western Pennsylvania has become an up for grabs area where both parties think they have a chance. In the surrounding counties that for generations were heartland Democrats.
Western Pennsylvania has a lot of people who fit his demographic that he's trying to appeal to, especially the people when it comes to Butler.
The working voter who's feeling a little bit of economic pain and is wondering who is going to fight for me.
So a really big day tomorrow. Jill Biden here. Donald Trump rally in Butler County. Lots going on. You think Pennsylvania might be a swing state?
Now, Butler is traditionally Republican, but it is representative and it is close to counties that Democrats have won. And so it's a perfect place to bring voters in from the outlying counties in order to win Western Pennsylvania.
The showgrounds office staff here.
Okay. As you just heard there, Pennsylvania, being pretty much conservative, but there's a lot of Democrat counties as well. So it's like a half and half Democrat, half Republican state. Again, since Trump won all of the 19 electoral votes for the state, he won the entire state. Again, Pennsylvania is the reason someone does or does not become president. And Pennsylvania also seems to be a target for assassination attempts like Donald Trump faced July 2024. That's what this live is about. I told you this channel is going to be mainly about politics, real political events, past or present, or predictable future events. I'm going to tell you this. I'm trying to become a politician right now. I'm going to school to become a politician. I'm going to try to become a politician to fix the system, to try to end these political assassination attempts or successes of assassinations. Unfortunately, Charlie Kirk, again, my prayers still go out to his family. We'll never forget his face. Again, some Democrats celebrated Donald Trump's assassination attempt in July 2024, and some Democrats are sick in the head in Congress that they are actually celebrating. Some people said that they would shoot him again, although he was already dead. They would be glad to shoot him in the head again. Like, you don't disrespect the dead like that. Again, you could also go on my Facebook. You could also add me as a friend. And I just posted a big long post out there. I'm gonna send you guys back to the video.
told us they believe there will be 15,000 tickets sold for the rally. Most
Oh, and another thing, the record tickets, the record turnout in Pennsylvania is just unbelievable. With, you know, especially being the most crucial swing state. You would think that they would have the most security in the state when either political candidate is doing rallies. No matter if it be Vance, Biden, Harris, Trump, etc. You would think that they would have the most security. But that does not turn out to always be the case. I'm going to send you back to the video.
would agree Donald Trump rallies, regardless of your political affiliation, attract a lot of people. They are big productions, stages, lights, and potentially thousands of people. We saw what appears to be an advance team for the rally, and judging from their license plates, possibly Secret Service members scoping this likely location.
I think from the campaign standpoint, this was a good.
Okay, the Secret Service was there roughly 3 to 6 hours before Trump even got there to do the rally. Same amount of time as the shooter. The shooter was lying in wait for 5 hours before Trump got there. And you would think that they would have had this guy taken care of. You would have thought that they would have warned Trump about potential threats had they not seen him. But no. And the response after the assassination attempt was failure as well. Because they were supposed to have at least a dozen guys being pretty much used as meat shields to protect the president or presidential candidate. Responses failed. But yet when it came to a threat against Biden, they were able to intercept and stop the threat before Biden could be assassinated or injured. But yet when it came to Trump, Charlie Kirk, they wait until the shooter starts shooting after seeing him and then neutralize or arrest the threat.
Location to hold a rally was very visible. People knew where the farm show location was, visible enough to attract lots of people from not just Pennsylvania, by the way, but from the tri-state area.
There were people that didn't like the
Okay, so not only was there going to be Pennsylvanians at the rally, but there was going to be New Yorkers, however you want to pronounce, Ohioans. There was also going to be possible New Jerseyans. There was going to be people, again, from New Jersey, obviously Pennsylvania, possibly New York, and obviously Ohio at this rally. So there's going to be people from multiple states attending this rally, especially from Ohio.
idea of Donald Trump and his team going to the Butler Farm Show.
I said, well, wait a minute, then who visited the site? Let me tell you, from living there my whole life, you've made the wrong decision.
It was arduous to get to the actual Butler Farm Show, a 2-lane road, a ton of traffic.
We're driving on the streets. We see Trump signs everywhere. These are his people. These are the people that he's trying to appeal to, trying to make sure that they come out to vote.
Early that morning, the public wasn't allowed in on the grounds when we first got there. But police are there. They're watching your every move. And at that particular time, it was probably at least 50 to 100 police officers out there.
When it comes to
Okay. If they were watching every move, 15 to 100 police, you would think that they would have saw the shooter before the assassination attempt. You would think. So again, failed security, not on just the Secret Service's part, but the part of the state, local, county, and possibly even federal law enforcement.
political rally, especially a presidential campaign.
Hold on. I don't know if that was a freaking. I don't know if that was a freaking gunshot or if it was just a car backfiring, but we'll see.
Rally, you have to be there extra early because all the gear has to get set up and they have to do the security sweep.
Security wise, they've always kind of been the same, but this one was very loose. After decades of doing this, I think, okay, it is what it is, but I'm trusting security to keep an eye out on everything here.
You're not going to believe what happened. Tell me
I'm gonna
everything.
get
I'll
rid
show
of
you
that
on Monday.com.
and
So
then
I
I'm
started
gonna
the
have
biggest initiative of
more. I'm gonna replay this part again.
I'm trusting security to keep an eye out on everything here.
Okay, you're trusting as a police chief for your officers and Secret Service and state, county, and federal law enforcement to keep a very close, secure eye on everything, right? But you would think that would be the case. Actually, again, the Secret Service saw the shooter way before Trump even got there. So why did they not eliminate the threat before Trump even got there in the first place?
The heat, the weather, it was insanely hot that day.
The heat was just unbearable.
I caught sunburn on my shoulders. So it wasn't just hot, the sun was very, very strong that day.
I saw people.
And it was the clearest blue sky day of all. Trump, excuse me, did not mean to do that on live, but Trump had the best clear blue sky day to do the rally. He picked the perfect day to do a rally, but also he picked the perfect day for himself to pretty much become a target, while Secret Service failed to do their job. They didn't fail to the point where he died, but they failed to the point where they ID'd the shooter long before he even fired those shots. I have a feeling, I guarantee you there's already a lot of conspiracy theories on the Secret Service director. That's going to be another video sometime this week. I will give the date and time in the description. The idea that the Secret Service director resigned after the attempt tells you something. There's a lot more suspicious conspiracies that could be true than people might know. All right.
Getting treated. The medics were running around going crazy, but they were all pumped.
Everybody seemed very optimistic. Everybody was looking forward to see him.
Everybody's chanting USA. It's just very upbeat, very,
So Trump was going to have one of the best rallies of all during the campaign trail. And yet, while he was speaking to his supporters and the crowd and to the American people within that area, or possibly even on national television, he didn't even know he was going to be shot. But the Secret Service knew, again, that the shooter was there.
loving, just very enthusiastic. And then 5 minutes later, on the mass shooting.
Rally had really just gotten underway. There were all these other speakers before, but he had just come to the stage. He's talking.
This is a big crowd. This is a big, beautiful crowd.
I'm trying to get ready to do another live hit.
And for some reason, I noticed these Secret Service guys, about two or three of them, on top of a building, and then they get down and lay down in that little stance with their guns. Still, that didn't startle me because I'm thinking, okay, well, these are Secret Service guys. These guys are getting in position, whatever, just in case something happens.
You don't mind if I go off teleprompter, do you?
And then all hell broke.
Take a look at what happened.
Now here, pow, 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 pow.
All right. Okay. So there was Secret Service on the freaking rooftops of surrounding buildings, and yet they still managed to overlook the goddamn shooter. Was this intentional? Was this accidental? Or was this part of a much bigger plot to try to rig an election? Again, the Trump assassination, July 2024, started 11 additional assassination attempts, with the most recent one being Charlie Kirk being shot and killed, unfortunately. And it disgustes me that this political violence is actually increasing at the rate it is. And it's, how do I put this? It's to a point where Americans cannot take it anymore. Americans are going to end up overturning their government, and I see why. Again, I mentioned this on my live yesterday, 1 hour live yesterday. The only way to security rallies of presidential candidates, presidents, activists, etc., is using military troops. And it's very, very concerning that you would think that the Secret Service would have seen the guy without overlooking him and being able to take him down before those shots were fired.
Bang, 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 bang. Just nonstop.
Well, I think for a few seconds, I think everybody was trying to ascertain to what that noise was. Was it gunshots? Was it fireworks? Was it part of his speech or whatever?
I take a second. I'm not sure.
Okay, not only did the shooter, yes, he did wound him, but he did not aim. Well, he missed the head, but that's for another video. Well, actually, it's for this video. You know, this scumbag who tried to take out Trump, again, he looked up the fucking gruesome scenes of the JFK assassination. And if y'all know what happened to JFK, y'all know I don't need to speak about it. But if you look, you know, I believe one person died and 3 other people were wounded, not including Trump. And then if you have Trump, that'd be a total of 4 people wounded, 1 person dead, and then the shooter was killed by the Secret Service after 6 to 10 shots were fired.
Or what's happening. I immediately then know what's happening and I jump up. Oh my God. We just had fired shots out here, so I don't know what the hell's going on.
It was so surrealistic. It's like you could hear this pop, 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 and I saw the president go down, and I thought, oh my God, somebody just shot the president. Then I hear behind me in the stands somebody crying, oh my gosh, he's hurt. And I turned around, I could see people with blood on their shirts and stuff.
When I heard the second, third, I didn't stay on Trump. I whipped around to see where. Never thinking it's off the grounds. I'm thinking, is this in the grounds?
I saw him get hit. I saw him go down. And now I'm thinking, you know, the crowd's getting shot at.
I felt my boyfriend fall first, and then he went on top of me to protect me from the bullets.
I'm looking for the cops where they're running to, but I couldn't go very far. After I was whipping around looking for stuff, I thought, oh, they got Trump out of here. He's gone.
Watch what magnesium does to your bowels.
If you have to wipe more than 4 times after you poop, here's why.
The Mayo Clinic confirms.
I'm going to the limo. I'm going, he's not gone.
A lot of people are still there. And they're there because Trump's still there. They wanted to see what was happening with him and what the situation was with him.
You know, Trump is a fucking savage. I have to give him that. He stood back up after the situation was under control and was asking for seconds. Another dish of 10 more bullets. What a savage. That's one big factor that he did a landslide and won the 2024 election. I got to give him that. Again, the people weren't afraid. They weren't leaving until Trump left. And Trump was staying on business. He was not afraid of bullets.
At that time, I had absolutely no idea that Trump was shot.
I looked up and I saw blood, all over the podium.
I'm thinking, what the hell is this? I was actually thinking the worst. Is he up on stage? The worst situation.
Then all of a sudden, maybe seconds later, I see the Secret Service bring him up from behind the podium.
And then he did the fist pump. The crowd went nuts. When you shoot stories, you think, I need a more.
I love this part, man. Trump, again, a savage, People thought the worst, Trump was smart. Had he not moved his head about that half inch, he would have been dead. We wouldn't be having this chanting conversation. We wouldn't even have him in the Oval Office right now. He'd be in the morgue just like Charlie Kirk. We would not be having this conversation. We'd be having a 3 to 6 hour live, if Trump was dead.
Moments. I need that one shot for each story. And that was like, holy cow. You just hear the roar. You could feel the crowd. I'm going, holy cow.
And I could see like his ear. There was blood on his ear. And they rushed him off the stage. But even at that time, a lot of us still didn't know what had happened.
It's kind of a blur, a little bit. It really felt like a dream. Did I really just hear gunshots? This is the last place on earth I expected to be hearing gunshots. At a place.
Agreed. I can agree with this lady. You would think that being the most secure rallies would be the last place to hear gunshots. Same with the Charlie Kirk rally. You would think that with that being somewhat secure, you would think that would be the last place you're. And not only that, he was rallying at a university where he was killed.
For their Secret Service.
I tell you, when you hear that, and then you see the faces of the people that were in the crowd, I think everybody was kind of like stunned.
And I am thinking in my head, how am I here today? Like, what is happening? It truly did not feel real.
I'm just running on adrenaline, trying to do my job. I did see the doctor working on the fireman and the father. I'm thinking, anyone else injured? Then about a dozen guys blew up and started yelling at the media. This is your fault. This is your fault. There was about 10 or 12 guys losing it. And I get it. They're pissed. This is their guy, and he's just been injured.
All of a sudden, the Secret Service comes to us, and they're like, telling the media, you need to get out of here. Get out of here. I mean, this is now a crime scene.
Watch my snoring.
I'm telling you, the media fueled this assassination attempt, regrettably. Sorry? No, not you. The media failed to tell us the truth. The media is the one who started this, and I hate the fucking media for that particular reason. They incite civil war. And to be honest, whoever views this, please like and subscribe. You thought I was done? Not.
Disappear in one night. My wife couldn't believe it was that easy.
I tried these popular snoring solutions so you don't have to. And there's only one.
Once I got to the scene, everything was locked down.
When I arrived there, it's a little chaotic at first. Very quickly, we established a plan of how we were going to handle this investigation, how we were going to secure the site.
I talked to 2 eyewitnesses, and they were not inside the rally. They were actually outside of the fence. They both saw Thomas Crooks on top of that AGR roof, and they both were trying the best they could to flag down law enforcement to alert them of the threat.
I seen him physically look at us, and then I seen what I knew was a gun, a machine gun or something. I just started screaming at the cop, this guy's got a freaking gun, man. Like, he's right there. Like, come on, Because at that point, there was a few cops there, and we were like, come on, dude, get this guy,
And what did cops do then?
They were like, where's he at?
Where's he at? And then run right by
And
us.
they did not know what to do.
It was wild.
We later saw body.
Okay. So even witnesses attempted to flag down authorities. And to be honest, authorities weren't doing their job. The witnesses were telling them specific where the shooter was. Failed to stop the bullets. Stop the shooter. Again, it makes me pissed as an American.
Camera footage of law enforcement with their guns drawn, circling that rooftop, trying to get to Thomas Crooks.
This close, bro. Dude, he turned around on me. He's straight up. I don't know. Who's got eyes on him? He was right where you picked me up, bro. He was on that left side. He's laying down. He's got an arm. Next building over. He's got glasses, long hair. He's got a book bag. He's got mad AR laying down. Yeah, he's laying down, burned out, book bag next to him.
And you saw the panic from local law enforcement trying their best in real time.
I started seeing, I seen 2 undercovers and a cop dressed in black, police on the back, come running up to the building and start running around.
Both of them radioed in that they had identified an individual on the roof and that he was in fact armed.
To me, that was stunning that people could actually see Thomas Crooks while Donald Trump was still speaking on the stage.
It's just so scary. And you hear about this stuff, and like I said, you just, you know what I mean? You brush it off until it's you. It's such a scary thing. And like I said, you just
on the stage, Thomas Crooks, while Donald Trump was still speaking on the stage.
It's just so scary. And you hear about this stuff, and like I said, you just, you know what I mean? You brush it off until it's you. It's such a scary.
Okay, so I'm not gonna say that law enforcement failed to do their job. They tried. I'll take that apology back, but law enforcement was in panic. But the part that is their fault is that they should have communicated with the Secret Service to alert them, hey, there's a shooter, a possible or active shooter in the vicinity. You need to guard the president or presidential candidate, whatever that person is, what you're supposed to protect.
Scary thing.
There was a lot of anger at the security
Of course there
lapses.
was.
How could this have happened?
It was an outdoor venue. These targets are so vulnerable.
It was so easy to walk up. The witnesses that I talked to, they were able to walk up stand by that fence line. No one said a word. It was easy access.
He shouldn't have had access to the roof. Like, that's the job. That's what you do in the advance. That's why you staff that building. So that should have never happened.
I told them they need to post the guys. I told them that the Secret Service. I told them that Tuesday. I told them to post guys over here. What?
Okay. All right. So, I'm going to have to take the apology back completely. The law enforcement agencies were trying to tell the Secret Service, you need to post guys on every building rooftop. And yes, I would be outraged. How could this have happened? My concern is that, our system, security, non-security, politics, non-politics, our system is completely fucked. I want to be blunt. You don't understand the gravity of the situation until you experience it. You need to understand this issue here. I'm at a loss for words. Law enforcement attempted to do their job. So again, I have to take my apology back completely. They warned Secret Service to post guys over here before even Trump got here. I mean, most of the Secret Service agents at that rally were untrained, were not prepared, and they left professionals, the well-trained ex-snipers, ex-military Secret Service at their headquarters. They should have professional Secret Service agents there and leave those untrained Secret Service in the training camp and on the training grounds, training them until they become professionals.
No, we're inside.
No one was asked to secure or monitor that AGR building or the rooftop. And the Secret Service, they were in charge of that detail.
It's a Secret Service.
So nobody was asked. It was just law enforcement warning them. A lot of major red flags here.
Event. They're the lead agency at any of these campaign events. Our primary mission was to secure the inner perimeter of the rally event.
State police offered for a piece of machinery to go in between to try to obstruct that line of sight. They said no thanks. They didn't take them up on their offer.
This building had a direct line of sight to the president, and yet it wasn't secured. Was that not discussed?
I don't remember that as part of the conversation. It wasn't part of our pre-plan. And obviously I can't comment because that would be, levels higher than the sheriff to answer that question.
The sheriff's department were.
It just gets more sickening as the video goes on. You would think that the Secret Service would be smart enough to take the state police's offer to obstruct the shooter's view from the president and or presidential candidate. But no, I have a feeling that the Secret Service had this planned to let Trump take bullets and then for them to do their job. Again, that's what I believe caused the director of the Secret Service at that time to resign from her duties.
Helping the state police to actually secure the inner perimeter. Butler Township, I know they had asked them to do some traffic control at the intersections near the event. My troopers, I couldn't be more proud of how they reacted once shots were fired. They did some pretty heroic things running toward the sniper's location, risking their own lives, running into the stands to help the injured people. And the U.S. Secret Service, their members acted just as heroically. They put themselves in the line of fire for the former president.
Were you made aware, Sheriff, any potential threats? Was this guy on the radar?
No threats we were made aware of, and we had no idea about this guy.
Would you agree that this was a failure?
Yes.
So this guy was not on the radar, nor does nobody know this scumbag. But again, this scumbag looked up the gruesome details of the JFK assassination, and they're at a loss for words.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
I remember asking the FBI, so when did everyone know that there was a threat? Was it only until shots were fired? And he answered yes.
We didn't know who Thomas Crooks was until after he was shot and killed. We had no knowledge of Thomas Crooks prior to this.
So there were a lot of questions about who is the shooter.
He was just quiet. I mean, he was just a normal kid to me, walking around the neighborhood.
He was always alone.
Everyone kind of knew him as the kid that knew everything. So everything we would always joke, say, I bet Thomas knows the answer to this question. If we don't, Thomas knows it.
I think in the neighborhood, people were like,
Okay, so he basically had a suicide wish. He was probably one of the smartest students in college who knew a lot more about government or his major than any of his other classmates. And yet he fucked it all up with attempting to assassinate a president and or presidential candidate. And got himself killed by the Secret Service. I'm just baffled.
overcome by how much media was there. And they're just like, leave us alone. I'm sure they felt bad for the parents, but they were just, get out of our neighborhood, which I totally get.
Thomas Crooks.
Here's a guy who graduated from a good high school, Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. He went on to community college. He worked at a nursing home. He looked ordinary. What was Thomas Crooks doing? Who was he talking to? His motivations, were they political? We still don't know.
And we'll never know the answers to those questions because Thomas Crooks was killed and all the secrets that he had are with him in the grave.
A life was lost. This was a tragic incident. Someone died. Someone lost a father. Someone lost a family member.
Corey died a hero. The Corey dove on his family to protect them. Corey was the very best of us.
I want people to understand that he was a man of love and not hate. And that's what we need to pursue right now.
I sat down with Corey's sister.
To even say the words that my brother was murdered it's surreal.
Her brother died, shielding his wife and 2 daughters from bullets.
He was so humble and he was so kind and he was so generous and his laugh was infectious. I think I missed that the most because he was a goofball.
And then the 2 other innocent victims caught in the crossfire, David Dutch and James Copenhagen. This family is utterly broken, devastated, and they believe that this could have been prevented if the Secret Service would have done their jobs.
Good evening. So let me describe for you a little bit about the scene that we have over there.
At that press conference, there were...
I have to agree more. This could have been easily prevented if the Secret Service had done their jobs. I cannot say less.
were a lot of media there. State police had representatives, and so did the FBI Pittsburgh field office. But who wasn't there? The Secret Service.
They were looking at assignments or ready to divvy up assignments, and our
Of course, why would the Secret Service not be there? Because they don't want to do their fucking job. They're just another organization hungry for the money instead of doing the job that they were designed to do, which was to protect president and or presidential candidates or activists, etc., by applicable law. They failed to do that. Instead, they only cared about the check from the American taxpayers.
police department indicated that the manpower that they had necessary was not adequate for that they intended to do.
It seems like local police are being.
Okay. So not only did the police do their job better than the Secret Service, but they had a lot less manpower than the Secret Service. And they still did their jobs better than the Secret Service. To be honest, it just turns my stomach upside down.
Thrown under the bus here like it's their fault, but did they have the proper guidance, training, and information to secure that building?
Right. And, that's what they make after action reports for. That's what's going to happen after all this investigation's over. And again, what I said, there's going to be finger pointing starting now until whenever, until all the facts come out.
I've assured my troopers that
Okay. There's going to be a lot of finger pointing. No matter how long, how long or how much there's going to be finger pointing. There's there's going to be always finger pointing. Conspiracies after this. If they could have captured this scumbag alive, just what they did with the Charlie Kirk assassination, we could have actually known the actual truth. If they were going to tell us the truth, we could have also known the motives. Not only that, there would not be as much conspiracy. If this shooter, this Thomas Crook, was alive, there would only be conspiracy theories regarding a little bit of law enforcement, but the majority of the conspiracy theories would be regarding the Secret Service and how horrible they failed to do their jobs.
I'm extremely proud of everything they did that day. That's not our job to decide, make those decisions of where the perimeter is. I don't think there was any issues with what the Pennsylvania State Police was asked to do, and all I did was assure my troopers that they did their job.
The Secret Service director, Kimberly Cheadle, she resigned shortly after the shooting. Ronald Rowe took her place. The source I talked from Secret Service, he basically said, these locals, we depend on them, but they were incompetent.
We did what we were asked to do that day. That wasn't something that, was within the perimeter that we were given.
In retrospect, yeah, I would have had coverage on more buildings than they had. In retrospect, hindsight is always 20/20. I don't know what the details or what the challenges they were facing. Definitely a failure. Yeah.
Again, agreed. Had that guy who's now acting Secret Service director been in place, this could have been possibly different. We would have never had those shots fired. And they should have used the Secret Service if they were able to do their jobs or willing to do their jobs with the proper manpower to stop the Charlie Kirk assassination. That's up to the president to make that decision to deploy Secret Service. Unless by law required, then the president cannot make that decision.
The assailant should never have been able to shoot at former President Trump. That's
Agreed. And all because of a Service failure of communication, security, and proper manpower. And the law enforcement was outnumbered by the manpower of the Secret Service, and yet they did their jobs better than the Secret Service, which is sad.
It's completely unacceptable.
Donald Trump went from this assassination attempt to the Republican convention in Milwaukee. And at that convention, of course, his ear was bandaged.
Despite such a heinous attack, we unite this evening more determined than ever.
There's been a few folks who've been floating the idea that the events in Butler will depress turnout. I disagree with that. I'm not feeling that.
Again, this political violence, some of it could be the reason why Trump was elected president, because the people believe, some Democrats are attempting to stop the due process of elections. And I also found out today that the January 6th, 2021 supposed attack on our Capitol, it was not an insurrection. It was a move by the people saying that they're fucking sick and tired of the government's tyrannic bullshit. And they got fed up with it.
At least within, again, sort of the broader center-right coalition, I think Republican voters are going to be very motivated.
I was there for the next one, and basically the same setup.
He came back in October. There were police, local law enforcement, Secret Service counter snipers.
Amazon Zero is about building
Now
something
they're finally
small and
doing their
steady
jobs
with the
for
help
the
of
second
Amazon
time.
and AI,
Trump
one
people
step at a
put their
time. Zero social media, zero shipping.
Are the youth standing up finally?
Flooding.
Yep.
In our United States?
Uh-huh.
Are they trying to overthrow the government?
Yep.
Do they understand that we ourselves are the government? We are the power.
Yeah. The people who attempted to overthrow the government.
Let's go!
Yeah.
That's all that everybody needs to understand. We are
The January 6th, 2021 insurrection was not an insurrection. It was a word made by the people that they're tired of their government.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I don't want burning shit or anything. Or like Nepal did it right.
Yeah.
They fucked some shit up. People died, but they're good now.
Yeah.
They got their fucking government back.
Uh-huh.
Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Oh shit.
Try to learn lessons from the past, try to make sure that there's not a
But
repeat
again,
of
that
anything like
was a
that and
friend
that
of
we're well
mine, but
prepared.
This
Again, the Secret
event
Service are
and this
finally
venue is going to
doing
be
their
safer
job,
than
because for the second time, Trump went to Butler, Pennsylvania. So in those 3 months between July 13th, 2024 and the middle of October of 2024, they realized the dangers that could be present again in the rally. And it is a big help that they are finally doing their jobs for once. No, but yeah, like and subscribe. You heard it. That was a staff member here. Vlog it, yes. And again, I get it. We're human. We make mistakes. We learn our lessons. But this was a possible deliberate failure.
anything you've ever seen?
I don't think what has happened will radically change people's minds because most of us are kind of locked in.
We had great divisions going into Butler. And in fact, some of those divisions may have led to the assassination attempt.
Eating an ice pop, but yes, again, the idea that, you know, the assassination attempt happened, it was a failure.
The hatred in the language that candidates and their supporters use.
Oh, and before I forget, the video mentioned something about divisions. Yes. The reason why Pennsylvania is a must-have for either presidential candidate to win is because we are deeply divided. And that's another factor that obviously played in the assassination attempt. But I can't determine that for sure. But I guarantee you that is one of the factors.
Has gotten worse and worse and worse.
We had a civil war in this country. Under no circumstances do we want to do that.
Yes, we did. And it was because of division between freedom and slavery. This time it will be between political violence and non-political violence. Republican and Democrat. You would think that they would learn from the Kennedy assassination, the Reagan assassination attempt, the RFK Sr.'s assassination, and now the Charlie Kirk assassination, and the Donald Trump assassination. You would think that they learned to be smart and not dumb. And you would think they would responsibly dispatch the proper amount of manpower, the right people for the job.
Shows that Americans are more divided today than they've been at any time in the last half century.
Well, I've seen this world change so much in my
That is true. We are more divided now than ever.
years, and it just worries me that how extreme everything's getting.
I'm just glad it didn't blow up that day. If the assassination would have succeeded, tempers would have happened, and it would have been ugly.
The negative.
No. There's a bunch of scenarios on this. If Trump was assassinated, we would have had a civil war to begin with. We would have had countries burning down. Well, we would have had, well, yeah, countries burning down. But we would have had communities being burned. And to be honest, I would not blame the American people. I'll send you back to whatever remains of the video, and then do a little bit more discussion before I get off.
Negativity promotes a negative response, and everybody gets worse and worse. And if you think your only option to get out of the mess we're in is to go shoot someone, then we know that the messaging and the vitriol has failed the country.
Uh-huh. So this new Secret Service director, Matt Quinn, he's not wrong. The Secret Service is 100% accountable for the failure of the security of the job. I'm going to ask you this. You could comment after this live. What do you all think? What would have happened if Trump was assassinated? Would there have been a civil war? Would there have been not a civil war? You let me know down in the comments. You should also leave a like, share, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or not Twitter, but Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And subscribe. The more you subscribe, the more you make me motivated to get into politics and make me do more lives like this. Excuse me. Excuse me. So, what do you all think? I'm going to give you guys a poll. If I can. I'm doing the poll here. All righty. Poll is started. There's no time limit. The poll is open to all as long as the video remains on this channel. Alrighty, guys. Have a good one. I gotta go my medicine and go to bed. Bye-bye.